let's see, a week ago, March 4th, I was on my way to the airport and I got into an accident and they've totaled my car and it was a kind of a traumatic experience for me
Okay.
because I was hit by someone and I ended up in the median strip and yeah, for me, I've been around for a while, but I'm obviously trying not to ruminate about the trauma stuff, but I really feel like it's unfortunate that it happened. My car is totaled. I'm still waiting for some figures and monies to come in that way, but I walked away from it. The state trooper was awesome. My adjuster for the car, awesome. I mean, she's been phenomenal. I've been praying for the girl. She was 30 years old. I mean, I have no idea if she had children or anything. I'm grateful that she stopped because she drove away. My car had to be towed. So, I'm kind of grateful for the law of attraction because I have to, I don't say I want to have to, but I kind of feel like I do have to resort to that shifting in thought and energy because it's difficult for me right now because I still feel some of the trauma ness even trying to still drive around. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
But
I you know
I'm grateful I walked away.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Unharmed.
even
Unharmed.
even from when you first started telling this story, I could tell like your energy was solid, right? You're like, "Hey, I'm going to tell this story right now, but I'm also going to like relay this in a way that I knew you were going to be ending up somewhere positive because it wasn't like, ah, right?" So I think that all the energy work you've been doing is like sustaining you, and that's really awesome. And there's always something, there's always whenever we go through something like that, the worse it is, the more we're manifesting.
Right.
So if you go through something really, really hard, it means that like your inner being is manifesting something really big. And it could be, it could be anything. Okay, maybe it's a newer car that you like, but it also could be like, fresh perspective. It could be, opening your eyes. It could be just realizing that it's a great example of how much in control you are with your energy and how far you've come along.
Well, the
So
thing is I was going to North Carolina for a week and I've missed a vacation and what I'm finding hard is like, the old thing, there's a reason for everything. It's like, what's my reason for everything with this? I guess I'm curious about that. What's the reason for this, for me.
mhm.
So
So what do you
um
think? So the reason is kind of a weird word because reason would be like there's some ulterior plan, right? Versus rewording it a little bit like is there an upside to this? Like what could that upside be? But we don't know.
mhm.
We don't know what kind of accident you could have got into in North Carolina. We don't know what kind of drama the people, that you were going to visit may have been going through. We don't really know what would have happened once we got there. So generally, I don't spend a lot of time because weird shitty things happen to me and I could totally try to spend my time like where was my energy? Why did this happen to me? But that's kind of saying in a weird way, like contrast wasn't supposed to happen, but contrast has to happen. So a lot of times, like sometimes it doesn't sound like you're dwelling on it at all, but I think it's natural to, I think it's normal. I don't know what the right word is here for this. I think it's, it's not crazy to do some introspection and be like, how was I a match to this car accident? But it's really about the vision going. I kind of go there a little bit, and then I think this analysis doesn't feel very good. Like it feels kind of interesting. I'm curious, but like I don't really want to feel more of this tomorrow. Like I don't really want to be perpetually looking and trying to figure out why something went wrong. I would prefer to just be like, all right, well, where am I looking right now? So there's not like a right or wrong answer. A lot. I use the car accident example a lot of times in teaching because you could have 4 different people get into a car accident and all 4 people feel differently. I had a cousin recently who just got in a car accident, totaled the car, and was like super excited because insurance was going to pay for a new car, right? Person number 2 could feel like, man, that was just really hard. Like, why did this happen? Person number 3 could feel like, here's another example. Everything's going wrong, right? Person number 4 could just be like, I don't know how I'm going to financially recover. Like, so everybody ends up feeling different. So you could look at it being like, all right, how did this car accident make you feel? Because that is really, when we're manifesting things, we're not actually manifesting the car accident. We're manifesting how the car accident made us feel. So just from the teeny bit we've talked about, it seems like it felt for you like, shit, like that was really intense. That was traumatic, right? And so then you could say, if we would those 2 words, Cheryl, be kind of like, would those be maybe like the 2 words you would, if you were just going to use 2 words to say, how did it make you feel?
Just fearful, traumatic. Yeah, for me, it was just, yeah. I mean, it was hard hanging on to the steering wheel with a bunch of trees and brush coming at the windshield, and I'm like, I got it. It's like I want to close my eyes. I want to put my, I couldn't do that if I had to stay control of the car. It's just. But I'm just so grateful for the people that connected as a result of this, like praying for that girl. I don't know if she's got 2 young kids at home or 3 or whatever. The state trooper was awesome. Just everybody that's come into my, as a result of this accident has been just really phenomenal. And I'm grateful for that. So fear and the trauma a bit.
So you could see, because there's, when something happens, there's like a couple things. Like it could be something like, hey, you have in your life, and I'm not saying this is it, I'm saying it could have been the result of perpetually feeling fearful and like something traumatic's going on, right? So if you had an undercurrent of fear and trauma, then it would make sense that you would get into a car accident that resulted in fear and trauma. I feel like I know you well enough to, like, I don't think you have an undercurrent of fear and trauma, but maybe I don't know if there's something else going, like maybe I don't know you as well, but I don't feel like from all of our conversations that you have an undercurrent of fear and trauma. So that would be like one, if you really, really wanted to look at it, you could be like, all right, it made me feel fearful and trauma. Do I have a chronic history of feeling fear and trauma? And if the answer is yes, then that's your answer. That's why you manifested it. If the answer is no, then we also get contrast in our life just because contrast is required to expand, right? So sometimes stuff happens because if it didn't happen, we would have zero incentive to do the energy work and continually to expand. But I also feel like, for you, Cheryl, like I feel like this, you holding on to your energy the way this was March 4th, this is like a week ago. If you hadn't done the energy work you've been doing, I think of a normal, non-energy focused person would not be as solid as you are right now, right? Like, I feel like this is like proof that you're like fucking in control of yourself and like you are a powerful manifestor. You've like got so much of a good vibe going that you can get head on hit, get thrown through the bushes and get up and walk away. I feel like that this is proof that you're kind of invincible right now, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
And so that would be my invitation for you, because I feel both sides right now from you. Like you're saying, I'm not saying like I'm not psychic or anything, but like you're telling me, right? So you're telling me, hey, I can still feel some trauma in my body. I'm still a little scared to go to driving, but wow, like I'm also incredibly appreciative for everything. So you're kind of holding on to 2 pots right now. And like, if you want to continue holding on to both of those pots, it might be like a week or 2 later and you're still right there. So my invitation for you right now is to just say, you know what my new story is? I'm invincible. I've been so in tune with my energy that I can be hit head on and walk away. Which means that I could be in the middle of any disaster and not be touched. It means that a thief could come rob every house on the street, but he wouldn't come to my house. Like you just, so I would own that because then as you own it, that becomes more and more true. And it is true. We saw
I've been thinking I'm resilient,
yeah, right?
just resilient is what I'm like, and so isn't everybody else. You know what I mean? That, the state trooper, that they do that every day, and just, just, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay resilient, and,
So
yeah, I'm
I
not
would I
thinking
would
about the
own that,
money
right?
from the
Because that
insurance. I'm not thinking about a new car. I'm not
yep.
thinking of any of that right now. I'm just like, I feel resilient that I'm walking through this,
And imagine if you're like, all right, you know what? This just gave me proof that I'm resilient. So the manifestation here is you're knowing that you're resilient.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really nice manifestation, to start to have proof and a deep knowing and an excuse to be like, I'm resilient. This is an opportunity to very easily build that. And could you imagine like going through the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years building and just having an untouchable resilience? Wouldn't that be like 100 times better of a manifestation than a temporary little car accident? So
Mm-hmm.
this is how I would look at it. I'd look at it as like, hey, this happened, a little bit of trauma, a little bit of fear, but now look where I am. It's proof that I'm kind of untouchable. I'm feeling incredibly resilient. So I'm just gonna latch on, I'm gonna anchor to this, and I'm gonna build the shit out of this resilience. I'm gonna be living the rest of my life unfucking touchable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, totally, for sure. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. That's
Mm-hmm.
cool.